If a woman doesn't want you, she's going to show it. It just won't always be in way you expect. A lot of men missed signs, not because they're clueless, but because they don't want to believe what's right in front of them. The truth is, when someone's not interested, they didn't always come out and say it directly. Most of the time, it's in the small things, the way she texts, how she talks to you, or the energy she'll give us off when you're around. Welcome to Man Off Substance. If you've ever felt like you are chasing a woman who's slipping further away, or you've been confused by mixed signals, this one's for you. We're going to talk about what it actually looks like when a woman just isn't feeling it anymore, or maybe never was. This isn't about bashing women or playing games. It's about clarity because when a woman doesn't want you, she usually won't tell you straight up, but her actions will. And once you learn to read those signals without second guessing yourself, it saves you time, energy, and frustration. You stop trying to force something that was never going to work. And instead, you keep your self-respect intact. We're not talking about moments where she's just buoy or distracted. This is about consistent patterns, things she do silently say, "I'm not into you, look at." Once you learn to recognize these signs, you'll stop chasing what's not meant for you, and you'll start investing your time where it actually matters. So, in this video, I'm breaking down 5 clear signs that a woman doesn't want you. These aren't vague ideas. There are patterns of behavior that you'll start noticing once you know what to look for. Let's get into it. She keeps you around, but doesn't choose you on. She keeps you around, but doesn't choose you. There's a big difference between a woman liking your company and actually wanting to be with you. A lot of men get stuck in this middle zone where they're present in her life but never really invited in. You text often, maybe even hang out sometimes, but there's no forward motion. Nothing progresses. You stay in the same spot while she keeps you close enough to you but far enough not to commit. What usually happens is you yourself that you're just taking things slow or that she's not ready for something serious, but deep down you can feel something's off. You show interest, you stay available, you try to be consistent, and in return she gives you crumbs. A dry text here and there, maybe a quick call, maybe even a late night hey once in a while, but it's never solid. It's never clear. And that's the point. This is the kind of situation where you're emotionally invested, but she's emotionally casual. You're thinking about how to move things forward while she's thinking about how to keep things where they are without thinking to fully let you go. It's not that she's playing some evil game. It's just that she doesn't feel strongly enough about you to commit, but shadows want to close the door either. Why? Because having you around gives her attention, validation, and a safety net. It costs her nothing and gives her just an hour. Picture this. You've began texting her every day for a few weeks. You've asked her to hang out a few. She says she's busy but never offers another day. Then one Friday night, she calls you out of nowhere because her plans fell through. You spend the night talking, maybe even hanging out. The next day, silence again. That's not a relation, it's emotional convenience. And the longer you stay in that space, the harder it is to walk away. You start hoping that maybe one day she'll come around. But people don't come around when they already know what they feel. If she wanted to move forward with you, she would. If she saw you as someone she genuinely wanted, you wouldn't have to keep trying to prove yourself. Yao wouldn't be sitting in this blurry zone wondering where you stand. If you find yourself being kept around without real progress, no commitment, no intimacy, no clear interest, it's not an accident, it's a choice. She may not be saying it out loud, but the message is clear. You're not the one she's choosing. She's just not ready to let you go completely. Her energy drops the moment you show interest too. Her energy drops the moment you show interest. One of the clearest signs that a woman doesn't want you is how quickly her vibe changes when you reel interest. In the beginning, she might be playful, curious, and even flirty. She replies fast, throws in emojis, starts conversations in the nude of nowhere. Her energy drops. What changed? You started making your intentions, enjoys being admired, but doesn't actually want anything deeper with you. So when you finally express interest, either by making a move, asking her out, or even just showing consistency, her energy takes a dive. Replies get slower. Her tone gets colder. She stops putting in effort. It's confusing because it feels like she led you on and maybe shed, but more often than not, she was just entertaining the attention without sinking too far ahead. She wasn't planning to take it anywhere, and the it got serious. It became uncomfortable for her. Not because you did anything wrong, but because she didn't want it to go there. You'll notice this pattern if you pay attention. A woman who's into you won't get weird when you show interest. She wouldn't pull back when you open up a little. In fact, she usually match your energy or even increase hers. Buddha interest was surface level. Your fort makes her realize, I don't want this guy to think I'm serious. So she starts backing away. The mistake a lot of guys make here is doubling down. They think she was into me before, so maybe you need to remind her, so they start dreaming harder. Longer texts, more compliments, more invites, but it doesn't fix anything. It just makes the up more obvious. When her energy drops after you show interest, take that for what it is. It's a signal that she was halfway in, and now that it's real, she's out. And that's okay. You don't need to fight for someone who is exited to meet you halfway. Let her pull back and don't chase. She makes you work for bare minimum. And 3, she makes you work for bare minimum attention. When a woman newly likes you, attention isn't something you have to earn. It flows naturally. You don't need to keep roving yourself just to get a reply, a smile, or a simple conversation. But when she doesn't really want you, the smallest bit of attention feels like your reward you have to chase. And that's a problem. You find yourself doing most off work. You're the one starting every conversation. You're always the ones asking questions, keeping the chat going, trying to make plans, and what do you get in return? One-word answers, delayed replies, maybe a few dry laughs or emojis if you're lucky, but never real effort, never a genuine back end. It's not that she's too busy. People make time for who they actually care about. If she wanted to talk to you, you wouldn't be stuck trying to drag energy out of her. She wouldn't be instantly distracted, always saying maybe when you ask her to hang. Outeracting like replying to a message is a core. You wouldn't be guessing whether or not she even wants to hear from you. You'd know because her actions would make it obvious. What's really going on here is simple. She's not that interested, but she's not cutting things off either. So she throws out just now attention to keep you around, but not enough to build anything real. And beckons you wanted to work. You start doing more. You tell yourself she's just net great at texting, or she's probably just busy, or she'll come around. But deep down, you feel the imbalance. This dynamic drains your energy. You put in effort, get nothing real back, and then start questioning yourself. You think maybe you're doing something wrong when truth is she's just not meeting you where you are. And here's the part that matters. Attention should never feel like something you have to earn from Simeon who claims to be interested. Respect, effort, and consistency should come naturally when someone values you. If you have to chase scraps, it's not Baka she's hard to get. It's Picas trying to give. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of winning. Harver, but this isn't a prize to win. Few have to work hard just to get basic communication or common courtesy. She's knit in it, and it's not your job to convince her. You're not supposed to beg for connection. You're supposed to meet Samin who wants it just as much as Udo and shows it without making you feel like you're bothering them. She's hot and cold, and it's not by accident, for she's hot and cold, and it's not by accident. One day she's texting you like crazy, laughing at everything you say and being super responsive. Then next day, she's cold, distant, barilla, please, or disappears altogether. Then just as you start to back off, she comes back again acting like everything's this back and forth doesn't just confuse you, it keeps you stuck. And that's the point. When a woman re-allows you, her behavior is steady. You didn't have to guess how she feels, but one, she's unsure, uninterested, or just keeping you around for her own reasons. Her behavior becomes inconsistent. That hot and cold pattern isn't random. It's how she keeps control of the situation without having to fully calm it. The hot days make you think there's still hope. You tell yourself she wouldn't be acting like this if she didn't care. But then the cold days hit and you're stuck trying to figure out what changed. So what do? You chase, you try harder, you text more, you make excuses for her behavior. Best. This is especially common when a woman likes the idea of your interest more than she likes the idea of factually being with you. She enjoys the validation, the comfort, or the emotional boost. But when it starts to feel real, she pulls away. Then when you start to move on, she comes back just now to keep you from leaving. That kind of push-pull interaction drains you. It keeps your mind spinning and your confidence low. You start tying your mood to whether or not she respands instead of asking. Why you're Evan chasing someone who isn't meeting you halfway? Real interest doesn't play games. It doesn't come and go. If she's shot and cold, it's because she's not Alan. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop giving energy to someone you hope can't offer anything solid. In Reader, you're always the backup plan, never the first choice. 5. You're always the backup plan, never the first choice. One of the hardest pills to swallow is real linger, not her priority. You're just her fallback. You're not the guy she clears her schedule for. You're the one sheds when she's bored, lonely, or when her other plans fall through. You're not the front of her mind. You're somewhere in the background. Allows available, but never truly chosen. A woman who really wants you will make space for you. She'll show interest, make plans, and treat your time like it matters. But when she doesn't see you that way, she won't go out of her way for you. She might still keep you around, though. Why? Because it's convenient. Because she knows you'll size when she needs something. Whether it's attention, support, or someone to fill the gap between the people she's actually chasing. Here's how it usually plays out. You ask her to hang out on a Saturday. She says she's not sure yet. Might have plans. Saturday comes and goes. No word. Then suddenly, late Sunday night, she texts, "Hey, what are you up to?" That's not someone who your time. That's someone how through her options. And when non-why them worked out, circled back to you. And if you're always available in that situation, it becomes a pattern. Yao keeps showing up thinking, maybe next time I'll be different. Maybe she finality your value. But people don't suddenly wake up and appreciate what you've always taken for granted. If Chat really saw you as a first choice, Yao wouldn't be waiting around for her leftovers. You'd already be part of her plans. This doesn't mean she's being cruel. Sometimes people didn't even realize they're trying like a safety net. But regardless of the reason, the outcome's the same. You're giving more than you're getting gunned. She's not meeting you halfway. Banga backup slowly chips away at your confidence. It makes you question your worth because deep down you feel you're being overlooked, but you keep hoping for a moment when that changes. That hope keeps you stuck in place. If her energy only shows up when she has nothing better going on, that's no interest. That's convenience. And if you're honest with yourself, you probably already know the difference. You deserve to be someone's clear decision, not their last-minute option. If she only reaches out when it suits her, if she never initiates plans or prioritizes your time, it's time to stop happen. She come around. You're not mean to play the backup role in your own life. Why men miss these signs until it's too late? Sick. Why men miss these signs until it's too late? Most men don't miss the signs, Bekos. They're blind. They miss them, Bekos. They don't want to believe what those signs actually mean. When a woman's actions are telling you she's not really into it, it's easy to come up with reasons that explain it away. You start looking for hope instead of clarity. You tell yourself she's just buoy. You think maybe she's shy, or you give her the benefit of the doubt thinking that if you stay consistent, she'll come around. That kind of thinking keeps you locked in. You're reading the situation based on how you feel, not what you're actually, and that's where most guys F to the trap. There's also you've already invested time, energy, and maybe even emotion. Walking away would feel like giving up or admitting it didn't work out, and that's not easy. So instead of stepping back, you double down. You try harder, you wait longer, you hold on to the best parts of your interaction with her, Andy. Everything else, it's human to want things to work out. No one wants to admit that someone they care about doesn't feel the same way. Open just enough for you to talk. Keep hoping. It's a quiet rejection, and that makes it harder to recognize, but signs are always there. Thing inconsistency, the lack of effort, the emotional distance. If you've got to where you stand, that's yours. Where real interest doesn't leave you. It doesn't leave you constantly second guessing or waiting for things to get better. Men tend to miss these red flags because they're fused on potential. They're thinking about what could happen instead of what is happening. But potential doesn't build connection. Action does end if she's not showing up for you now. She's net waiting to do it later. Once Ewa accept that things become much clearer, you stop chasing mixed signals and start recognizing what a real connection should actually feel like. Steady, mutual, and obvious, not confusing, no training, and definitely not one-sided. What to do when you finally see it clearly. 7. What to do when you finally see it clearly. Once you realize she doesn't want you, the next move is simple, but not always easy. You walk away, not out anger, not to prove a point. You do because your time, energy, and self-respect matter. Too many men keep hanging on, hoping she change her mind, hoping one more message or one more gesture will finally turn things around. It won't. At some point, you have to take responsibility for where you are spending your energy. If you've seen the signs she's distant, inconsistent, cold, unavailable, then staying in that situation becomes A, and that choice keeps you stuck. It's not her job to convince you to move B. It's on you to recognize when something isn't working and have the discipline to step back. This is where a lot of men struggle. Instead of pulling back, that they hold on tighter. They turn into fixers. They try to be more understanding, more patient, more available. And in doing that, they abandon their own standards. They forget that connection is a two-way street. If you're doing all the work, it's a performance. And eventually it burns you out. You've got to wake up to how you're being treated. Stop sugarcoating it. If you feel like an option, it's because you are. If you feel overlooked, you are.